Hey guys, it's Danielle. Welcome to a new series with I'm Not Gonna Lie called Shelter Diaries. Smack dab in the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic, we here in California are under a shelter-in-place order. No going out, no socializing, and definitely no in-person podcasting. I'm using this extra time and space to tap in regularly and keep my peeps entertained, hopefully. Join me for bite-sized episodes that include phone calls with fellow self-isolators, as well as the ramblings about things that are keeping me up at night. If you have something you want to ask, share, or inform, reach out to me on the interwebs at I'm Not Gonna Lie, and maybe I'll touch on a few in upcoming episodes. Thanks for joining. See you on the other side of this big old mess. That was so weird. Hey, everybody. It's Danielle with I'm Not Gonna Lie. I'm here all by myself, and it feels really, really weird. And I turned the music on because I needed some sort of transition to get from feeling awkward, being by myself, and not feeling awkward, which it didn't work. I'm here Saturday morning. I'm in my studio. I'm all by myself. I'm also staring at my phone camera, and it's ready to hit record for live on Instagram, but I'm a little chicken shit. Today is March 21st. For me, for the people here in Petaluma, Sonoma County, this is day 4, I think, of shelter in place. However, for the whole state of California, this is day 2. So for those of you who are listening way in the future, we are suffering from a pandemic from the COVID-19 virus, which basically means that the entire world is trying to figure out what the fuck right now. People are getting sick, people are dying, and it's becoming so scary that for us in California, and I believe several states are probably right in line behind us, our governor declared a shelter-in-place order, which basically means everybody, with the exception of non-essential businesses, have to stay home. And we have been isolating. I have been isolating, and it feels really, really bad. I don't do isolation well. I'm a people person for sure. I think everybody who's listened to this knows that. And even one-on-one, I feel so much more comfortable than I do when I'm sitting here talking into a microphone alone. And full disclosure, by the way, my son, my 5-year-old son, is in the room with me. He does have headphones on, and he's listening to iPad, YouTube for Kids or something, but I can't leave him alone. And so he's here in the studio with me. I can't do it. I cannot hit the live Instagram button yet. Maybe next time. So I thought I'd come in here into the studio because this is my happy place. I've spent the last week trying to bring the Keller Street co-work community together as best I can virtually. As you know, I operate a co-working space in Petaluma, California, which is just north of San Francisco. And we have a really great community. Our people are happy when they're together. That's why they're my people, I think. And there's a lot of really cool people doing good stuff, both together and individually. And sadly, I had to close the space down this week. It was hard. I even tried to leave the all access members some wiggle room so they could access the building if they were just going a little bit stir crazy at home. We've got 9,000 square feet. So there's a lot of space. And I thought, if 1 or 2 people are in there and it makes them feel a little bit better, then great. But then the governor came on and said, shut that shit down. So Keller Street Cowork is closed to everybody. I came in today because I was cleaning out the refrigerator and watering the plants. I'm getting all teary-eyed. All of the things to just shut it down. and it wasn't super fun. So I thought, well, I'm here. The studio's downstairs. Go downstairs and talk to some people, even if they can't see it. And so, yeah, that's why I'm here. I've been listening to a lot of podcasts today. Wait, I have to go back. Forget the podcasts. I started to say earlier, I've been trying to bring everybody together virtually. So this week we did like a virtual happy hour, which thank goodness for Zoom. And I'm sure everybody everywhere is using Zoom right now. But they're video, like conference call type technology. So you can all get on. So this is what we did. Thursday, everybody poured a beverage, got a snack. We all got online. There were about 12 of us, I think, that were able to make it. And it was great. It was great to see everybody's faces again. It was great to see that even in this kind of weird time, everybody's doing fairly okay, even though we don't really know what's happening. And just, I don't know, just to reconnect. So that was great. We scheduled a couple of like work sessions. I really, really, really tried hard this week to keep everybody engaged because I was like, that's just what I do. And I don't know how else to contribute to this weird environment other than to just keep cheering everybody on and like inviting them to the things. So I did that, and we were going to round out the week with a movie party, a Netflix party. So I don't know, for those of you who don't know what that is, actually, I didn't know what it was until a few days ago. On Netflix, you can install a widget. If you have Google Chrome, you can install a Google Chrome widget, and whoever's hosting the party can log into their Netflix, pick a movie, click the widget, you get a link, you send it out to your guests, whoever you want to show up, and they log in, and you're all watching the movie at the same time. And then also there's a chat window. So if you're one of those annoying people who likes to talk through a movie, you're not my people. I'm just kidding. Also, you can do that in the chat box. So I chose Ferris Bueller's Day Off since we all had some version of days off this week, although most of us were trying to get some work done. And sadly, nobody showed up. That's not true. One person showed up, and I'm so grateful just because I honestly, it was Friday. It was the end of the week. I didn't really want to do it. Although when I planned it, I thought it was a great idea, but I had just had to close the space. I had just had to lay off my employees. I spent the whole week trying to be there and be supportive for all of the members and be the cheerleader. And I was exhausted. I was so exhausted. And so part of me was like, wow, this is really hard to just sit down and watch a movie, but I want to do it because I would just want to do one more thing for everybody, because that's what I do. I support everybody. I mean, not that I'm not getting supported, but I feel like I'm the person, it's in my personality to take care of everybody else, which obviously there's some work to do around that. But anyway, nobody showed up, and I was a little heartbroken. Sorry, I keep saying nobody. One person showed up. Jessica, thank you. But honestly, I was deflated, and I felt like, oh God, I've been spending the whole week trying to keep the boat afloat. And quite honestly, it wasn't hard. But at the end of the week, when I couldn't do it anymore. So yesterday, sorry, that's my son. He does not have coronavirus, by the way. Nobody showed up to the movie. I just closed it at the end of the movie, and I thought, all right, time for me to just check out. Just stop trying to care for everybody else. And because they're not asking for it. People are not asking for it. I'm not feeling like, oh, it's my job. I have to do it. It's just who I am. Anyway. So now I'm like, all right, it's time for me to just figure out my shit. And it's kind of scary. I don't sit still very well. I have been trying. I try to get into meditation and all of the things, but there's a lot of noise in my head. So it's not easy. So I'm being forced. I'm going to let go a little bit. I'm going to stop trying to make everybody else feel better, as opposed to just like settle in and get quiet and talk on my podcast by myself, because I can't be with anybody. All right. So back to the podcast that I was just mentioning, I've been listening to a lot of. I am a podcast junkie. And while I have my own, I don't actually listen to my own often, but I'm listening to everybody else. And Brene Brown is somebody that I think a lot of people connect with. I discovered her, quite a few years ago when I think she first blew into the mainstream. And she does a lot of really great work around connection and vulnerability. And when I first read her work, I don't know how long ago, but I'm going to say it was like 6-ish years ago, maybe. I loved it, but I was just in a different place. And lately I've been toying with the idea of doing a big speaking gig type of thing. And I've been trying to figure out how to write my story and getting vulnerable and which part of the story I want to tell and which part of the story is irrelevant to the rest of the story and all of that kind of stuff. And I've been diving back into her because there's a few things I wanted to research around the topic of connection. And I don't know, I've just rediscovered a love for her. So I'm diving into all of that. But she has a new podcast out called Unlocking Us. And the first episode was just released this week, I believe. And she talks a bit about FFT. So I didn't know what it was. And of course, she was so funny on her podcast. But it's called FFT stands for fucking first time. And so she goes through and I'll let you guys listen to the podcast episode. It's Unlocking Us. It's the first episode. But basically there's a strategy behind FFT and how you deal with it. And there's a lot of vulnerability that comes with doing something the first time, and it puts you outside of your comfort zone and you want to quit and you don't, all of the things that I'm feeling right now, actually. And it was really great to see somebody like her who still goes through that, and then to give some strategies as to how to work your way through it. And one of the things was her podcast that she's doing. So she's talking by herself in this particular episode. I don't think all the episodes will be like that. And she's just feeling really awkward. And I thought, not everybody, there's a handful of people who have been telling me to go in and do some episodes by myself. And I've been averse to it. I've been resisting it because it just feels so awkward. So as I was listening to her today, and I was thinking about this like mode of isolation that we're all in right now, and how do we cope, and what are the things that make me feel good? And I put them all together and decided to come in and start recording. And I think I might do it throughout this isolation period. Probably some shorter episodes, not like our typical hour 15 or whatever. Mostly because now I'm the only one talking and I don't want to bore you to death. So that's what I'm going to do this week. I don't know that it's going to be every day. I don't know that I'll ever get the courage to go live on Instagram as I sit here and stare at myself in the camera. But I'll try. In the meantime, if I do go live, I want you guys to make me a promise. That is, you'll watch and you'll ask questions. And even if I don't answer them on this episode, maybe the next one I can answer some questions, or we can just, I don't know, start a conversation, ask me my opinion about something. I'm not averse to giving my opinions. So with that said, I'm going to sign off. I hope everybody I think everybody's isolated right now. I think the whole country is pretty much locking in, and I think that's good because maybe that'll help us get through the crisis. But I hope everybody is keeping sane in one way or another, whatever that looks like. If you don't have Zoom, get Zoom, because now you can at least sit and have a glass of wine with a friend and chat as if you're together. No hugs, no kisses, but it's something. All right. I'm signing off. Happy Saturday, everybody.